morning, everyone. My name is Suzanne, and I've gathered you all here this evening to better introduce you to one heck of a stubborn woman, who at the worst of times can be naive and foolish, yet at the best of times sets her goals high and then flies by the seat of her pants in hopes of achieving them. In case you haven't guessed, I humbly admit that this woman is myself. Now in this bag I have 3 items. Actually, one is over here and 2 are right here, which will tell you a little bit more about where I've come from, where I am in the present, and where I hope to be flying by the seat of my pants to in the future. Now, I was born in 1979, so I'm now 32 years old. But back during my last few years of high school, I felt as many teenagers do, like a dramatic fighting fish in a glass bubble, just waiting for it to pop. Not knowing that once she got to the other side, she would oftentimes be gasping for air. Now, I had a fine childhood, very imaginative, but after living in the same house, on the same street, in the same bubble for the first 17 years of my life, I was ready to break free. So 2 weeks after I graduated, with a little bit of a push from my brother Brian over here, I climbed aboard the Texas Clipper ship out of the A&M at Galveston. And took 2.5 months of summer school on board of the ship while exploring many ports from Canada to Curacao. After which I came back to Houston in the Galveston area and then moved to Memphis, Tennessee with my father, and then finally to Austin, Texas, where I worked as a barista at Starbucks and also took some courses at Austin Community College towards an ever-changing degree plan. Towards an ever-changing degree plan. Did I mention that? Oftentimes, when I was supposed to be studying for my finals, I found myself wrapped up in books about wild Alaska, river rats, bush families, and dog sled mushing. Books with names like Yukon Alone, My Lead Dog's a Lesbian, and a guide to camping and backpacking in Southwest Alaska. Within 5 months from that time, I was so hooked that I took myself by the seat of my pants and stuck myself in an airplane headed straight to Alaska. I started off in Anchorage and spent the next year of my life traveling around, and at that time I had met a significant man in my life, who together we spent the next 7 years of our lives living in remote places. We ran our own dog teams, and met a lot of the people that I originally had read about in the books. During several pristine, cold, long, dark winters, I ended up giving birth to 3 amazing children. Their births empowered me and validated my desire to become a nurse midwife. So here we are at present. I have a picture of 2 of my kids. I actually have 4 now. But in order to do that, to pursue my dream of becoming a midwife, I was going to have to head back down to Houston and leave the land that I loved, which had taught me so much and had given me so many grand memories. But I was going to be able to be with my family, who was there to support and help me throughout the whole process. So in 2007, after my 3rd child was only 1 month old, we drove back from Anchorage to Houston. And I've since completed my prerequisite nursing courses of 66 credit hours, as well as gained my certification as a nurse's assistant. In about 2 years, I see myself graduating as an RN and pursuing midwifery. Also, I envision myself one day buying up some rural property where my family and I can build new memories, building our own cabin, and my 2 selves can eventually meld together. My professional side and my more creative, adventurous side. Thank you all for listening to this speech of mine and hearing my story. Does anybody have any questions?
Another story.
That's good.